Hello, bright, beautiful, beloved soul friends. Welcome to another Conversations with Kristin, that glorious time of your day where you explore human consciousness and the healing journey of life from the inside out. So today I want to talk about what we can do to help heal our attachment systems. If you couldn't tell, this is a pretty frequent theme. Why? Because attachment systems are at the core of us. It connects our unconscious mind and unconscious body. It is the foundational mechanisms manually modulating or programming how our unconscious states regulate and integrate. And it creates the foundation of all subconscious timelines, which are where personal identity and personal experience directly come from. So attachment systems are, to say the least, a really big deal. And when we can get down to the nitty-gritty and heal our own attachment systems, we reclaim authority within the unfolding storybook of our lives, transforming life from the inside out by rewiring our neurobiology and liberating our miraculous consciousness. So, attachment systems, kind of a big deal, friends. So let's explore this. So in a recent video, I talked about how attachment systems are activating in every single moment. Every piece of internal and external stimulus, which means everything we see and hear and feel and think and feel inside of us, is all going through our attachment systems. And that the elements of stimulus are processed into personal life experience foundationally based on the well-being of our attachment systems. And so if we walk through the grocery store and we feel a sense of loneliness or feel out of place or feel anxious, a big part of that, if not all of that, is how external stimulus of being in a grocery store is being processed through our attachment systems. And we can transform that experience from the inside out by healing our attachment systems through self-love. We have 4 attachment systems according to my diagrams of consciousness, and each one has their own needs. And so we can show up for ourselves and meet those needs. And you can find out more about this in a free download I have for you guys, a gift of love from my heart to yours. You can go to kristinwindsor.com/gifts. Or you can click the link in the video description below, and there's a whole bunch of free downloads for you guys. And the one I'm talking about specifically is called Loving Liberation. Go grab the freebie download, a gift of love from my heart to yours, called Loving Liberation from kristinwindsor.com/gifts. I explain in there a lot about what I'm talking about. And I give you guys some diagrams to look at that I've created from scratch that really helps explain the human experience from the inside out. And it's so nice to be able to look at it and be like, that's where my experience is coming from. Holy smokes. So please feel free to go grab that and share it, and let's just ignite some hope revolution in the world as we explore what it actually means to be a person and be in this life experience as consciousness, experiencing life through neurobiology. Okay, so attachment systems. So every single piece of stimulus is activating the well-being of our attachment systems, which houses data explaining how things, sensationally explaining how the attachment system needs have been met. And so if we have a felt sense of safety or security, or if we have not felt that throughout our lives, the sensational data of those particulars are housed inside of our attachment systems. And every piece of stimulus is activating that. But even more so, every piece of personal engagement is activating attachment systems even stronger. And the longer somebody has been known, or the more intimate the relationship is, the stronger attachment systems will be activated. So if you're spending time around a romantic partner, if you're spending time around family members, if you're spending time around a best friend that you've known for many, many, many years, maybe even your whole life, your attachment systems are going to be activated in the absolute strongest way possible, engaging data regarding how your attachment needs have been met ever since the day you were born. Okay? And this is really important to know because our attachment systems are activating beyond awareness. So while we're up here and we're like, oh, I'm just having a conversation with my housemate or whatever it is, subconscious parts are directly encountering a bombarding collage of projected data from attachment systems that are provoking internal sensations of experience beyond all awareness. And so we might be up here in our observational self, like, I'm just having a conversation with someone. And then our parts are like, oh my God, I don't feel safe. I don't feel seen. I don't feel secure. I don't feel connected. I don't feel recognized. I don't feel respected. And we have no idea that that's what they're experiencing. And then maybe it later manifests as, impulsivity or loneliness or anxiety or depression or anger. And all of those sensations are coming from what parts have been experiencing beyond our awareness. So it's important to keep this in mind. And then once we have it in mind, it's like, well, what do I do about it? I can't change the way my neurobiological applications of consciousness are operating in every given moment. Are you kidding me? I can't immediately heal my attachment systems that have been neglected for 35 years. What are you even asking me to do here right now? So I want to give you guys a little trick that you guys can play with. What do we do to help meet our attachment systems? Because no, we can't change the way that our neurobiology functions. We're creatures based in love and feelings. We may as well just accept that. We may as well just accept that we are creatures based in love and feelings. We got a lot of feelings. Sensations are at the core of us. Thought is secondary. Neuroscience has proven that neurobiologically, biologically, we are feelings-based creatures who happen to think. We are not thinking creatures who happen to feel. Feeling is at the core of who we are. And even our rational brain is only 30% of our brain, and then we've got all of the rest of us. It's all about feelings. We're very much feelings-based creatures, and everything about our internal well-being and how experience transpires is founded in love. Love is at the core of everything. Love is how attachment systems are sculpted into being. Love is what sculpts our subconscious parts into existence. Love is what shapes dominantly influences the shaping of how unconscious systems integrate and regulate. Love is at the core of us. We are feelings-based creatures of love. And so we may as well just accept that. We can't change that. That's just who we are. We may as well just be cool with that, because that's just who we are. And we can't immediately heal our attachment systems. Healing is always gradual and never linear. And we can't just go in there and bada bing, bada boom, I'm healed. Hey, done. That's not it. It's a lifelong healing journey. Every day we got to find ways to meet our attachment systems. Even when past pains start to heal, we still have these attachment systems and attachment needs at the core of us. And so we get to get playfully creative and find ways to meet that for ourselves every day and kind of make those some habits that sustain our well-being moving forward. Okay, so one way we can do this is by offering ourselves compliments. And the best way I found to do this, you can use affirmations and things like that, and those are obviously very, very good. But this kind of tweaks the application a little bit. Okay, so play with me. Okay, so we've got our observational self up here, and this is 5% of our consciousness. So it's not a lot of our consciousness, it's only 5%, but it is the part that we are directly aware of. So that's where our power is, okay? So the majority of our consciousness is comprised of parts of our inner experiencer, or parts of consciousness, our subconscious and unconscious parts. Those parts are the parts of our self-essence or consciousness directly experiencing life, okay? And so when we're moving through our moments, the part of us who's seeing and feeling and thinking and responding and speaking and creating and having ideas and having concepts and tasting food and seeing sights and hearing sounds, those are all parts of our consciousness. Every piece of experience is sensed through parts. Our observational self never directly experiences life personally. Okay? It might feel that way, but that's usually just because our observational self is blending with parts of consciousness. But our observational self never personally experiences life. Our observational self only ever observes and responds to life experience. And so if we can ground in our observational self, then we can be a friend or a loving life partner to our parts of consciousness and offer things from here to there. And it's nice because then there's this sense of distance with power. And so it's not detaching from things. It's not that you're not saying, oh, I'm just disowning you because you're not me. It's creating space so you can be there for yourself a little bit more. And so, for example, if you're trying to be there for a friend and you're sitting there and you're like, I'm gonna help you, I'm here for you, and your friend is crying and sobbing and wailing, are you able to help them if you start crying and sobbing and wailing with them? Not really. And you're just blending with their experience and becoming what they're feeling. And then the only thing you're doing for them is saying, yes, you're feeling this. And so we be there for our parts of consciousness by being separate from what they're experiencing. If our friend is sobbing and crying and wailing, and we stay grounded and calm, we're like, hey, it's okay, I'm here for you, I've got you, you cry it out, I'm here, babe, like, I'm here for you, let me just hold you, let me encourage you, let me comfort you, let me validate you, and whenever you're ready, I'll help you take that next step forward into whatever you need to move through this, because I've got you and I'm here for you. You know, that response is going to be so much more helpful than, oh my God, yes, this is so sad. You're right, it's hopeless. Okay, and so if we can create space between our observational self and our parts of consciousness, then we have more space and power to be there for them, okay? And so we have to create space so we're not blending with the experience. Because if we're eating and we're like, oh my God, this is so good, this food completes me, I only ever want to feel this good, we're blending with the experience and we're likely to eat a little bit more than maybe we need. Not that I'm speaking from experience at all. And so it's important to create space between our observational self and our parts of consciousness so we have power to respond to them within the experience, okay? So bringing this back to how we can be there for our attachment systems. So attachment systems are already being activated in every moment, and they're being activated even stronger when we're engaging in any kind of personal interaction. So if we see ourselves in a mirror, if we walk past a person on the street, if we have a conversation with our housemate, if we talk to our family member on the phone, if we hug our friend, anything like that, even people we don't know, even people we don't directly interact with. And so if we're walking in the park and a stranger walks past us, then our attachment systems are activated. If we're having a 5-hour conversation with someone we've known for 10 years, our attachment systems are going to be activated a lot stronger. So there's kind of this spectrum of intensity in which attachment systems are activated. But every personal interaction engages them stronger than other forms of stimulus. And so we can keep this in mind and then respond to it. Use this insight as knowledge and power, and use this trick that I'm about to share with you in all of these different unfolding moments. Ooh, that's a really cool airplane. Very neat. Life is magic. So what we can do is extend compliments from our observational self to our parts of consciousness. And when we do it this way, instead of just claiming compliments for ourselves, we actually create more space to receive the compliments. Because if you say, I am beautiful, then you're collecting all of you into this one essence. And if one part of you doesn't quite agree with that, there's not a lot of leeway to wiggle in this, no, you really are beautiful, kind of a concept. And so sometimes those types of things backfire a little bit. Not always, but sometimes they just kind of don't hit as deep. But if you're like, you are beautiful to yourself, then your observational self, who does not have personal identity or experience, it's just this super neutral observational watchtower that's overseeing the life stuff. If you extend it from here to your parts who are personally experienced life and do have feelings and sensations and all of these different things, then it creates more space for the parts to actually receive the compliment. And you can play with this in a mirror too, because when you're looking in your eyes, you're connecting with your parts of consciousness. Parts are experiencing life through all of this, but they can only ever be directly seen. The one bridge between the 3 layers of our consciousness and our internal and external realities is through our eyes. And so we can directly see our consciousness when we look at the colored part of our eyes. And so if you can do this in a mirror meditation, it's going to be even more powerful. Another way to do it is to look at your hands and just connect with yourself through that way and just say, you are beautiful. And have it be a clarified intention of the I that is speaking is your observational self, who does not directly experience life or have a personal identity, and kind of create space for that neutral space of being. And then the you that you're talking to is the 95% of your self essence flowing through within you in your subconscious realms and unconscious states, directly encountering life experience and personal sense of self and everything. And so you can say, you are amazing. You're incredible. You're a wonder to behold. I adore and appreciate and admire and cherish the magic that you are. Okay? And so there's a couple ways you can go with this. There's 2 really effective things I found with this. You can do it compliments like that, where it's kind of like an implicit compliment of like an explicit compliment would be like, I like your clothing style, or I like your car, or I like your career, or things like on the outside. And those don't really quite hit home because those aren't aspects of our consciousness, those are aspects of our experience. And so our consciousness doesn't really vibe with that. It doesn't really click, it doesn't really connect, it doesn't really heal. And so if we can complement our consciousness, who is our self-essence within experience, then it goes a lot deeper. And so like implicit soulful compliments are gonna like get in there and create some loving energies of profound transformation and deep dive healing for our consciousness in a more profoundly expansive way. And so instead of like, I like your career, it's, oh my God, you are so talented. You are so brilliant. I love to watch you work. I love the way that you create. I love the way that you bring ideas together. I love the way that you process through things, complementing the actual consciousness within the experience, okay? So it could be soulful compliments like that, and they're just compliments about the character of consciousness, basically. Like you're beautiful, you're brave, you're brilliant, you're worthy, you're incredible, you're wondrous. Kind of the abstract, implicit particulars of consciousness. Another way you can do this is compliment the little things you do while moving through experience. And this is fun because it helps kind of reframe your relationship with yourself so that you are your own life partner. It's like noticing all the little things that a romantic partner might notice, like, I love the way you bat your eyes, or I love the way you stir your tea just before you drink it. Like, I could watch you cook forever just because the way you move is enchanting. It's kind of like that vibe of love, but for yourself, from your observational self to your parts of consciousness. And so you can do this in any given moment. And it's especially nice in like the slower in-between moments where there's not really a lot happening and our consciousness can feel very forgotten and unseen because there's nothing really exciting happening, nothing big being achieved, nothing super engaging going on. And so while we're walking from our front door to the mailbox, for example, I love the way you walk. I love the way you look at the trees. I love the way you move your body. I love the way you breathe. I love the way you notice the bird flying in the sky. I love the way you appreciate the sunshine. I love the way you open the mailbox. I love the way you look inside just to see if there's any mail there. I love the way you pick up the mail. I love the way you close the mailbox. I love the way you walk. I love the way you walk barefoot. I love the way you feel the ground beneath your feet. I love the way you step on a pebble and then you move out of the way because it hurts, but only a little bit, and you shake it off because you're such a champion. I love the way you move. I love the way you take time to smell the flowers. I love the way you look at the trees. Just the way you look at things is beautiful. I love the way you move. I love the way you think. I love the way you breathe. I love the way, and just compliment all the little teeny tiny things happening in any moment. If you're washing dishes in the kitchen, I love the way you pick up the sponge. Just the way you pick up the sponge is amazing. I love the way you move the sponge inside of the pan. I love the way you scrub pans. I love the way you clean. I love the way you look out the window. I love the way you listen to the background sound of the fan. I love the way you take deep breaths. I love the way you prioritize presence. I love the way you clean up after yourself. Compliment all the little things within unfolding moments. And when you practice this, soul friends, you rewire such deep, profound wiring in all of the brain and body system, from ganglia in the limbs to implicit procedural memories in the brainstem to emotional memories in temporal lobes and all kinds of magic. You rewire a lot when you practice this. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Like at first it might feel really awkward, like, oh my God, this is so weird. But the more you practice it, the easier it will become, the more natural it will flow, and the better it will feel, because it will start to feel a little bit more sincere. It might feel a little weird at first because it's new, but the more you practice it and the more you make it your own, the more it feels genuine and you connect with it, and it has a really deep, profound transformation on your own personal experiences of consciousness through neurobiology. Okay, so you can make this a daily ritual, and you just do it every morning when you first wake up, every afternoon after lunch, and every evening before bed. Or you can make it incorporated into stuff like every time you shower, or every time you drive, or every time you do yoga, or every time you exercise. Another way to practice it is anytime there's social engagements. And so if you walk into like a shared room in your home and there's like housemates around, immediately you're like, oh, I am noticing stimulus of other people, therefore my attachment systems are being activated, and activational data is being projected into the reality of my subconscious parts beyond my awareness. So I'm going to be there for my parts by stepping out and doing this activity or practicing it internally while I move through my moments. And so while you're walking through the living room or whatever, you're walking past people, and inside your mind you're like, I love the way you move. I love the way you breathe. I love your beauty. You are so beautiful. You are so brave. You are so brilliant. I adore you. I appreciate you. I cherish you. I admire you. I respect you. And in that process, you're doing a lot of things. You're building a relationship with your parts of consciousness. You're rewiring your neurobiology. You're healing your attachment systems. You're planting energetic seeds that will transform the way that your brain automatically creates thoughts in the future. You're actually helping to regulate your nervous system by being there for your parts and your attachment systems and being present with yourself and your needs. You're increasing your frontal lobe engagement, amplifying your personal power and the presence of your observational self. You're bridging internal worlds. You're doing all of these things. You're creating brand new memories within your consciousness that will affect your neurobiological wiring for the rest of your life. You're doing a lot more than just thinking nice stuff to yourself. And so keep that in mind. Like, this is really worth investing in. It's really, really, really important. And it might not feel that way, but don't ever let feelings dictate the truth, because they're just an experience. They're not truth. Feelings are always valid, but it does not ever make them true. Life is much more than the projection of feelings. We are feelings-based creatures, but feelings don't determine what reality actually is unless we let it. Okay? So know that this is really important stuff that you're doing when you're there for yourself. Your healing really freaking matters, babe. Your healing really, really matters. Trust me. Trust me. Just take my word for it. Okay? I don't know where this voice came from, but okay. But okay. So just take time to be there for yourself. Like, you're worth it. You're worth it. And your well-being and your happiness matter. They matter to me. I hope it matters to you. It should matter to you. You're worthy of having it matter to you. So take time to be there for yourself, and whether it's a daily ritual you do once a day or 5 times a day, or whether you do it constantly throughout your whole day, you're like every hour on the hour, I love you, I love you, I love you. Like, whatever vibes with you, whatever you're able to mesh in with your everyday life, do that. And you can do the implicit abstract concepts. You're beautiful, you're brave, you're brilliant, you're intelligent, you're inspiring. Or you can do specific things about how you move through life. I love the way you feel grass beneath your feet. I love the way you notice the sunshine on your skin. I love the way you decorate your room. I love the way you create beauty in your life. I love the way you focus on the good. I love the way you express gratitude. I love the way you're patient and kind in how you respond. I love the way you take deep breaths when you're frustrated. I love the way you try to manage your life. It's so beautiful to watch you balance so many different complex aspects of the human experience. You can compliment yourself abstract, implicitly, generally, or specifically within unfolding moments regarding how your consciousness moves through life experience. And when you do this, especially on a daily basis, and or especially when you're responding to activational stimulus of attachment systems based on other people, like if you're at a grocery store and you're around people, if you're walking past people, if you're interacting with family members, if you're interacting with a loved one, to take time to do these practices before, during, and or after these social interactions, it's really going to make a world of difference. Okay, so friends? All right. Whew. Brings it all around. Thank you so much for being here. I love you and I appreciate you and I believe in you infinitely. Every part of your miraculous consciousness is unconditionally worthy of infinite moments of happily ever after. The healing journey of life is allowed to be filled with love from within. Please feel free to explore free gifts from my heart to yours. There's several super mega magics, books and play sheets and playbooks and insights and wall hangings and like all kinds of super mega magics at kristinwindsor.com/gifts. Free gifts from my heart to yours, because I want you to have the tools to succeed. I want you to have everything you need to reclaim your power, liberate your consciousness, rewire your neurobiology, and transform unfolding life experience from the inside out to fully reclaim authority within your unfolding storybook of life. Okay? You have the power, and you are worthy. What's stopping you, soul friends? What's stopping you, babe? What's stopping you from rising into your power? You deserve it. You deserve it. You have authority in your life experience. And the time to claim that authority is right meow. Right meow. Right meow, soul friends. So please feel free to check out free gifts, KristinWindsor.com/gifts. The link is also in the video description here below. And if you'd ever like to connect through a one-on-one session, I would be absolutely honored to serve as a healing journey guide to uplift you into the fullness of all that you are. Whether you're seeking insight regarding an internal experience or guidance on a specific topic or anything in between, whether it's about a mental, emotional, relational, spiritual, or action patterned experience you're encountering within, I'm here to help, my beloved soul friends. So please feel free to explore more about who I am and what I offer, or book a session with me at KristinWindsor.com. It would be a blessed honor to connect with you, soul friends. And I also offer several healing journey programs you can harness at home at your own pace, and they can last several years. There's so much magic packed into these puppies, so please feel free to check those out on my website as well. I also have a monthly membership program through Patreon. Got lots of options to join in this healing journey magic that I offer as a Kristin Windsor through Kristin's Consciousness Consultancy. It would just be such a blessed honor to share sacred healing space and share the magics that I've learned along my healing journey through life. You deserve every opportunity to transform everything for the better, for the betterment of your happiness. Happiness can be embodied. It doesn't have to just be pursued. You are worthy, and you do have the power. Let this year be your year to shine, soul friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked hanging out or you support my channel or anything, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. I really do appreciate your support as I share my healing journey messages. And it's just a blessed honor to connect with you. So thank you so much for hanging out here and sharing this sacred healing space. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day, soul friends. Namaste. The divine love and light in my consciousness. See and honor the divine love and light in your miraculous consciousness. Thank you for being here, soul friends, and thank you for being you. I will see you next time.